Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into something that so many of you deal with in the fast-paced world of agile development. We're talking about mastering the essential English you need to discuss, defend, and most importantly, prioritize your product backlog. This is for all you amazing UX/UI designers and product owners out there, especially if you're working on global teams.
So let's start with a feeling I bet you know all too well. You know your task is absolutely critical, but finding just the right words to convince everyone else, it can be tough, especially when English isn't your first language. Let me tell you, in this situation, clear communication isn't just a nice to have. It's what gets the right things built.
So let's get into it. Here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll kick things off with why this is so important. Then we'll build up your toolkit with some essential language. After that, we'll look at phrases that are tailored specifically for your role, see how it all clicks together in a real-world scenario, and wrap up with some tips to help you sound confident and totally natural. First up, let's set the stage. Why is getting this one conversation right so critical for your success and, the success of the entire product? You've got to remember, your goal in these meetings is way more than just a status update. It's about building a case. You need to justify why your thing should be at the top of the list, clearly explain what's standing in the way, and, this is the big one, connect the dots between what users are asking for and what the business actually needs to achieve. All right, now for the fun part. Let's get your verbal toolkit stocked up. We're going to look at some really powerful but actually pretty simple grammar structures that are going to make you sound professional, super clear, and persuasive. The first tool we're putting in your kit is the present perfect continuous. Just think of have been plus a verb ending in ing. This tense is fantastic for setting the stage. It tells your team, hey, what I'm about to say isn't just some random idea. It's based on work I've been doing. You see, when you start a sentence with a phrase like, I've been working on, or we've been analyzing, you immediately show that your update is based on real, current investigation. It just adds so much weight and context to your argument right from the very first word. Okay, next up, explaining the why. Once you've set that context, you have to explain your reasoning. And honestly, using simple cause and effect language is the most direct, most powerful way to connect what you want to do to a result that actually matters. See how these simple phrases like because it impacts or due to the feedback create such a strong connection? You're not just stating an opinion anymore. You're directly linking your work to a business goal or user insight. It's an argument backed by real evidence. All right, we've got the basic building blocks down. Now, let's get a little more specific. The language you use is going to shift just a bit depending on your role. Are you there to be the voice of the user, or are you the voice of the business? So you can really see the difference here, right? As a UX/UI designer, your language is all about the user experience. It's about the evidence you found in testing. You are the user's advocate in that room. The product owner, on the other hand, takes all that great info and translates it into the language of business metrics and stakeholder goals. Both are absolutely essential, just coming from different angles. Okay, theory is great, but now let's see what this actually sounds like in the real world. We're going to walk through a pretty realistic scenario so you can hear how all these pieces come together in a meeting. Okay, here's our UX/UI designer. Notice how they start with that context. I've been reviewing analytics. Perfect. Then they state the problem with data, a high abandonment rate. And finally, they propose a solution that comes directly from what users told them. It's so clear, it's based on evidence, and it's all about the user. Now, listen to how the product owner chimes in. They start by talking about stakeholder alignment, which shows they're managing the business side of things. Then, they take that exact same problem, the seat selection abandonment, and they frame it in terms of its direct business impact. And that number is everything. This is why a specific number is so incredibly powerful. When you quantify the problem with a hard metric, it's no longer just a user inconvenience. It's a major business problem. A 12% hit to bookings, that is something that everybody has to pay attention to. You just can't ignore it. And here, in the final step, the product owner brings it all home. They reference both the user feedback
and the business metrics to make a super clear, data-driven recommendation. This is exactly how you build agreement and make everyone understand why this is the top priority.
Okay, for our last section, let's talk about delivery. I mean, knowing the right words is one thing, but saying them with confidence and sounding natural, that's a whole other level. So here are a few tips to help you get there. So try to follow this simple flow. First off, always start with the big picture, the context, before you jump into the weeds. Use simple connectors like so and because to make your logic really easy to follow. Keep it short and sweet. Don't overload people. And, a big one, if you bring up a problem, you should also bring up a plan or a next step. And finally, try mixing up your phrasing a bit so you sound more dynamic and engaging. So, to wrap it all up, let's just quickly go over the key takeaways from today's explainer. Use those grammar structures we talked about as your foundation. Always remember to tailor your language to your role, user focus or business focus. Justify what you're saying with that powerful combo of user feedback and hard data. And remember to pair problems with solutions. If you can do that and be clear, concise, and confident, you are going to totally transform how you show up in these backlog meetings. And I'll leave you with a final thought, a little challenge. After everything we've covered today, what is the one phrase, the one technique you're going to try in your very next backlog meeting to make an immediate impact? Think about it, practice it once or twice, and go put it to work.